This chapter is really split into two halves. The first half focusing, of course, on Chopper and Kumadori, and the second half on sexy Kalifa and sexy Nami.
One Piece, Chapter 407, Monster.
Well, hello, my brothers and sisters and half-naked and fully naked CP9 members of the Nerd Nation. I, as always, am Jim, here to bring you another review on the awesome and uncomplicatingly naked tale of One Piece. Our last chapter, of course, saw us with really a number of fights going on. The beginning kind of being Frankie beating Fukuro finally, and having that fight pretty much wrapped up now as Fukuro got knocked the fuck out. And then, of course, seeing a little bit of a check-in with Zoro and Sniper King, mainly for comedic, comic relief. But the end really being Chopper and his fight against Kumadori. And it left off with this Shishi finger pistol, being done, and towards Chopper, and it looking like it hit. And obviously he's turning his hair. Kumadori's actually turning his hair into these fingers and using his finger pistol. And that's how the chapter left off. The chapter picks up right where it left off, and really it's kind of a sad tale in a sense, because this is Chopper being taken to the max, to the absolute limits that his body and mind can handle. Now, we know that, you take one Rumble Ball, and that's cool. You take two within 6 hours. I guess he has to have a 6-hour recovery time. And basically, you can have involuntary transformations, and that's what he was encountering towards the end of the last chapter. He took that second Rumble Ball, but he cannot go and get his arm boost to be able to go and nail him, right? And hit Kumadori with everything he's got, And because he thinks that'll take him down. So, anyway, the chapter picks up, and he's taken a couple of finger pistols, and clearly, like I said, he's just scratched and bloodied and beaten and broken, And it's kind of cool, because after we get a couple of pages of, Kumadori just talking his shit and just, of course, hitting him, we finally get, and Chopper's thinking in his head, he's like, all right, the transformations, I got a 1 in 7 chance of being able to transform into what I want, and his arm boost, changes into something else. Arm boost, and this happens 2 or 3 times, and he's still getting hit and beat by Kumadori, right? And then finally, he actually kind of involuntarily changes. I don't know if it was just instinct or what, but he winds up being able to kind of use that to his advantage, and he's able to actually go and pull a pretty cool move, I thought. Cool enough, I thought, to actually show the bad boy over here on screen. Or on camera, I guess I should say. On screen, I don't know why I say that. And, there we go. Boom, 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 boom. Here we go. So all of a sudden, he just goes and charges up, man, and just jacks him up over here. The Shishi finger pistol's coming at him again, and he's just like, BAM! Cloven! Rose Blizzard! And I mean, he just puts everything he's got into it and just, boom! Just nails Kumadori, right? And, the thing about it is that you expect, you just want beyond hope. You're like, Chopper's done, right? And I mean, even Chopper's like, I'm done. I got nothing left. But he did his full iron body right beforehand, and he took the hit, and it did hurt him. It looks like it left some imprints in his chest and whatnot, but ultimately it did not kill him. It slowed him down, and he's like, now we're gonna go towards the climax and this and that. While this is happening and Chopper's laying on the ground just broken and just basically looks like about to pass out from the pain or die, he has this cool flashback to when he was actually, living with Dr. Kureha. And what he wound up doing is these different types of experiments when he was working with the Rumble Ball. And we wind up finding out that he basically went nuts one night, doesn't remember anything of what he did, and pretty much like almost destroyed an entire town, right? So you're like, okay, all right, now it's starting to fall into place. The chapter's actually named a Monster, and I'm like, okay, all right, I got it, So we wind up, as he comes out of that flashback, wind up finding out that, when he takes that third Rumble Ball, basically, yeah, he passed out, but what happened is his just kind of went into this crazy bestial feral rage, and he's just like, I hope there's nobody else in this room when this happens, because there's, I have this great ultimate power, but it's almost like with the Incredible Hulk. I don't remember what the fuck I'm doing, and I don't know when to stop or how to stop, but I'm just this crazy beast. So he does. He winds up going and taking a third Rumble Ball and basically just saying, you know what, and don't get me wrong, Kumadori's, he's egging him on the whole time, He's just like, now we reach the climax, the thunder of the lion's roar shall bring you down, yo, 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 So, and as we get them, and he's doing his Tempest Kick and Lotus, anyway, he just winds up going and throwing a bunch of moves at him. But we see that flashback, comes out of the flashback, and then goes and winds up actually, as he gets, stabbed with like the finger pistol in the hair. He actually is able to go and somehow get himself out of it, and it looks like because he turned back into a little reindeer over here. And then all of a sudden, man, he takes that third rumble ball, and this is what we see, man. That looks like the frickin' Yeti, right? That looks like Bigfoot if I've ever seen it. That's like Bigfoot, some big, just evil, bestial creature with Chopper's face, you know? That's what it looks like. And we're like, okay, so we're going to get this one now. And then it winds up saying, uncontrollable power that destroys friend and foe and your own body. So there's obviously a toll that takes on him. There's no other word for it but a monster. So now we know why the chapter is called Monster, obviously. We do, after that, preceding that, we get a brief check-in, like a page check-in with Frankie. He takes the key off of Fukuru, and it's key number 3, I believe, or it's key number 4, and then I think, yeah, the one that Nami lifted off of Kumadori was key number 3. So he's like, all right, well, Kalifa must have the second one then. Obviously, by the process of elimination, we already know, well, if Chopper, I don't know if Chopper conveyed that to him, but obviously Kaku and Jabra don't have that number either. So it's got to be Kalifa that winds up having it. That winds up segueing into the last part of the chapter, and although it's really nice for the, I guess you'd say for the fanboys and the lover of, you know, naked women and tits and all that type of stuff, we don't know what's happened since Nami basically said to Kalifa, I'm going to take you down, I'm not going to go easy on you, and Kalifa said the same thing. We still don't know exactly what her devil fruit powers are. We know that obviously whatever she did to Sanji made him look like a damn porcelain doll, right? But it opens up, it gets into here, and I had to do a double take and read this again. It opens up, and Khalifa's taking a bath. Khalifa's butt naked in the bath, right? Then you go and you get to the bottom of it, and Nami's over there just laying on the ground looking like she's paralyzed. And she's talking about how all her power was drained and she couldn't move. So that has to have something to do with Khalifa's power, her devil fruit power, I would think. Maybe if she uses it enough on you, it actually goes and drains your life and turns you into some kind of inanimate doll or something like that. But the bottom line is that Nami's laying there, and she's just like, you know, and I love this. She's like, he, you people are running out of time, aren't you? It's Kalifa, it winds up saying. I thought you said you wouldn't go easy on me. Perhaps I heard wrong. And then she's like, Nami's like, don't make fun of me. I'll make you pay, you know. And there's Kalifa, butt naked in the tub. Then get back here and keep fighting. You don't need to wait. This battle has already begun. And then we got Nami, who's pretty sharp with things. She's a thinker, right? I'm amazed that someone with a fruit ability, a devil fruit ability, would be dumb enough to bathe in front of her enemy. If your body is half immersed in water, you shouldn't be able to wield all your power, right? And she's like, oh, so I've left myself wide open. Is that what you're saying? Don't worry about that. It's not like you're at full strength either. Excuse me for a second. So she gets out of the bath, and again, this is kind of the cute, I guess, fan service that you wind up seeing, because she's naked, and you see her from all these different sexy angles. You know, putting on her little thigh-high fishnet stockings, putting on her little fishnet over top thingy or whatever, and then putting on her jacket, but seeing it from the back, and then just picturing it in your mind from the front with nipples, you know. And all the things that obviously race through men and probably some women's heads alike. I don't judge, you know. So, anyways, and then of course we get the sexy as she's got her garters on and everything like that, and she's going and pulling her her coat up and all that stuff, and her little short ass skirt that pretty much seriously, man, if she goes and bends over, everybody, it's gonna be a full moon in the middle of the day. Let's put it that way. There ain't no way you're keeping that shit down, keeping that ass in there. But anyway, so. I don't understand I don't know if it was supposed to be like comical or if it was just a fan service type thing that in the middle of a battle, in the midst of a battle, that Kalifa just decided to strip down naked and get into a bubble bath in the room that she's fighting Nami in. To me it seems more of like just kind of a, I guess, you call it the fan service or whatever, just kind of that obligatory, like, hey, let's show some half naked women over here because there's these two hotties facing off against one another. The other classic one would be the cat fight where they start like fighting and tearing each other's clothes off or somehow wind up, it's raining, so all of a sudden everybody's wet, and then you can see nipples and all that type of stuff. But nonetheless, though, Nami, she's not having none of that shit. So she starts going and getting everything geared up with her climateact over there as of course, Kalifa is getting dressed and getting her clothes back on. And the chapter winds up ending with Kalifa complimenting her and saying, hey, that's some weapon. And she goes and winds up doing I'm not going to lie down and let you beat me. Thunderbolt Tempo! Now, we know that Nami's had some issues in the past, obviously using the climateact. And I wonder what she's going to do and if she's actually going to be able to help out or if she's going to wind up enlisting the aid of Frankie. it seems like how it segued into Frankie basically saying, hey, Khalifa's got to be the one with the key. I think it's going to wind up being him who's going to come to the rescue and help her. But again, Khalifa's powers are kind of a mystery to us over here just because we know that we don't know a lot about him, I guess I should say, at this point. So, my chapter question for you, though, brothers and sisters, is what are your thoughts on obviously Chopper and kind of having this sort of hidden power, I guess you would say, this sort of next level power that he has of being able to take a third Rumble Ball in a short period of time. But unfortunately, the drawback is he pretty much doesn't remember what happens, and he just destroys not only his body with doing this, but just friend and foe alike. You know, he's pretty much just an unstoppable killing machine. I don't know for how long or what, but what are your thoughts on it? Leave your answer to that question in the comments down below. Feel free to hit the thumbs up, the like button if you should think that I deserve it, and subscribe if you haven't done so already. We will look forward to catching all of you in the next Fun Nation.
Damn, Kalifa was looking good in that bubble bath. Say, remember to go and follow me on Twitter, Facebook, and Instagram, and even subscribe to my other channels too. Damn.